الله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear brothers,
You cannot hear me.
you cannot hear me?
Yeah, you're so soft.
I am.
Yeah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear brothers, so as you know, I'm replacement for Brother Siddiq till he comes back, inshallah. So I did spoke to him yesterday to find out where you guys had stopped in the last session. That was the Ghazwa Ahad. Ghazwa Ahad. So before I start and before our brothers complete their sunnah, let me ask you questions of so far what have we learned from the Seerah. So at least we know that we are mashallah not only listening but also learning, right? So what was the war before Ahad that Muslim fought? The war before Ahad.
Badr.
Aywa, mashallah. Good answer. So Ahad was the result of Badr, where the Mushrikeen have lost heavily, and they were so upset and angry because all of their, the heads, their basically you can say their council, the big wigs, you may say, were being killed in Badr. So they were so enraged with anger, and that's why Uhud happened. Okay, so another question for you. What year was that? The year for Uhud? After the Hijri?
Second one? Yeah.
Sheikh. What year was
The third year.
the third year? Yes. So the third year after the Hijrah. So I just understand, because it was very fresh for Muslims. I mean, the Muslims, just migrated, and then they had Badr, which was not planned at all. And then we had, they had to come up with Uhud. And then I'm sure you guys have gone through that. So basically, Prophet ﷺ did the Shura, and decided what to do in terms of where to fight. Whether to fight in Medina or out of Medina. And then during the Shura, it was decided that, and it was primarily Hazrat Hamza, the lion of Allah, sallallahu. He was, it was his suggestion that we should go out and fight. When Prophet ﷺ's first choice perhaps was to stay in Medina and fight. But then when Shura happened, and of course the Prophet decided, and then the council decided that okay, we'll go out in Medina and fight. So at that time, there become two groups. One group was saying that why did you, so Prophet went into his hujra to wear the zira, which is basically his armor. And when he came out, so he saw the two frictions, or two, I would say, the groups were arguing with each other, saying that, why are you pushing Prophet, peace be upon him, when he wanted to stay in Medina and you're pushing him to go out? So then Prophet came out and he strictly said, Prophet, peace be upon him, said that once I wear the armor, it's done. I cannot take it off. Let's go. So, and then Prophet, peace be upon him, gave the khutbah, the Friday khutbah. It was the Friday khutbah. Then Prophet gave to the Sahaba, charging them up, pumping up, giving them the energy which is required. And alhamdulillah, the army went out. And then at that time, I'm sure Brother Siddiq must have covered of what happened, with this Ubay ibn Salul, the head of the Munafiqeen. He brought in 700 soldiers and then he took them back. So that was a very, I would say it was more of a moral hit that the Muslim felt, because you see, the army was heading into the fight, and then all of a sudden 700 of them just went back, saying we will not fight. That was a big thing. And at that time, holding your nerves is what is important, what was required. And Prophet peace be upon him said that we will fight, we will go ahead. Again, I don't know to what details the brother has covered, because I was not here in the previous khutbahs. But then the fight started. So I'm sure most of you must have visited Medina Munawwara, mashallah. So I have personally went and I saw the battleground of Uhud. So if you see the battleground of Uhud, so it is basically kind of flat. Then it has a small mountain at the back, at the north side of it, and then front is open, and then on the east side of it is Medina. I don't know if it's following it. But then what happened was that the side of, there was a small mountain, and subhanAllah, Rasulullah, of course, he was the prophet, or beloved prophet. He was the chief of the army as well, the Sipah Salat, the head of the army. And he is thinking of how he's going to fight this war. So he has sketched out the entire map of Uhud, of how are we going to place the armies, the Muslim armies. There was Ansari Sahaba, I don't recollect his name. He was given the task with the 50 archers on that small hill that was on the north side of Uhud, where the Muslims were there. The Muslim army, so if I could use the board, so just imagine that this is the whole, the Uhud, and Uhud is on the left side of you. So there was a small mountain, and then, so they were fighting like this. And then on their backs was Medina. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, appointed 50 archers on that small mountain. And he said that you have to cover our back. You should not move no matter what happens. Clear instructions. In Sahih Bukhari it says that Prophet peace be upon him said that if you see that there are birds eating our bodies, do not leave your post. To that extent, it was a clear order. So if you see we are winning and winning and we are getting the booty of war, do not come. If you see we have been killed, do not leave this post.
Strict orders.
Strict orders, clear orders, no ambiguity. Okay, war started. Alhamdulillah, it was Mubaraza before. Mubaraza is one-on-one. And Hazrat Hamza, he basically, when he fought, and then his first attack on the enemy, he attacked the enemy from the shoulder, and his sword went through all the way, cutting into the two pieces, the enemies. The first, so the Mubaraza happens the way is that, they will send one person, and there'll be one person sent from the side, and both will fight. Then second and third, and then the fight starts. So the three people, Hazrat Hamza just, he cut them off. MashaAllah, means Allah has given him the power. So with the sword that he attacked, from the shoulder, his intestines were open. It was that powerful attack that he did. And then the fight started. So I will kind of fast forward this. So when the fight started, and of course Muslims always fight with the power of Iman. So there was never the numbers, how many numbers we are, and what support we have, and what arms we have, and how many ammunition we have. The Muslim army purely fought on the base of Iman. That Allah is with us, Allah will support us. And similarly, it happens. Fast forward, if you see it, Ghazwa Hunayn, same thing happened. Some new Muslim Sahaba thought that now today we are in big numbers, and then Muslims got defeated because the Iman and Yaqeen was not on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it went on to the number of soldiers we had. So coming back to Uhud, pure Iman, trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and moving ahead. So initially when Muslims started fighting, the mushrikeen, although they were in huge numbers, if I'm not wrong, it was 10,000 against 3,000. If I'm not wrong, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was about that difference, in 3 times double the force. But still, the power that Muslims fought with, alhamdulillah, the enemies had to run away. Now at this point, Khalid bin Walid was not Muslim, and he was leading one of his battalions from the non-believers.
Abu Sufyan,
Abu Sufyan was also not Muslim.
yeah, then he was the enemy.
He was the enemy at that time. Then he became a Muslim. So, and again, as the Prophet peace be upon him clearly gave instructions, do not move from that mountain. So about in the hadith, there's a number which is not accurate. Some say it was 37, some say 47, or some say only 9 were left, and everybody else went after to get the booty of war, because everybody saw that okay, now we're winning. So the mushrikeen are running away. So at that time, the about 41, to be exact, 41 archers left their post and went to pick up the booty of war. Now imagine, Muslims are fighting and the enemy is pushing away. And then these people here on the mountain, they left their post. And Khalid bin Walid at the time, he was waiting. He was waiting for that post to become empty. As soon as he took his battalion, which was not big by the way, but still was a big number. I mean, not in thousands, but it was something about 100, close to 100, which 9 people could not defend. So he came behind the Muslims, and then he attacked. So now what happened? Muslim became the sandwich, because there were mushrikeen who were running away. These guys came in behind the Muslims, okay, and they saw, the mushrikeen saw that we got support from behind. They started charging up again. So Muslims were lost what to do, because they had no idea where these people are coming from. How can they come from behind? So it was a sudden attack, which again, Prophet peace be upon him realized that could have happened, and that's why he gave instructions. But that was the result of not obeying the Prophet. Prophet peace be upon him. And then what happened? Massive loss. Massive loss of the Sahabas and Mujahideen, because people don't know what to do. And then, as per the historians, it says that there were only about 9 Sahaba, only the 9 companions with Rasulullah left. Only 9. Imagine this sandwich situation. So, and of course, in which Hazrat Abu Bakr and Umar were the prominent ones who were there with him. They tried to protect Prophet peace be upon him and try to come behind. Now, if you have visited Uhud, you will see on the mountain of Uhud there's a small cave that's still there. That cave is still there. So and at that time, when they were pushing back, trying to protect Prophet peace be upon him, and pushing back. So there's a mushrik. I believe his name is. I have his name here. He threw a stone at Prophet peace be upon him. And it was at that close proximity that Utbah bin Abi Waqqas. Utbah bin Abi, this was Utbah bin Utbah, by the way. So he threw a stone at the Prophet peace be upon him with that, with that strength, that the armor that Prophet peace be upon him was wearing, it had the to defend the face, to defend, basically to protect the nose. It has nose, nose dive. Yeah, it has 2, you can say, nostrils, or you can say, 2 arrow kind of shape things to protect the face.
Shield.
A shield, basically. So when he threw that stone at the Prophet peace be upon him, there was a big stone. That it hit Prophet peace be upon him on his face, and that too shield converted, basically bended and went into the Prophet, peace be upon him's face, like here, from here, underneath his his cheek. It penetrated all the way into his teeth, basically his tooth. So and he lost tooth there. And then Prophet peace be upon him became unconscious at that time because it was a loss of blood. At that time, these mushrikeen announced that Prophet peace be upon him has been martyred. Now imagine the situation that Muslims are in between. Both sides, we thought, the enemies on this side, enemies on that side, and they're charging up. There are horses. And then you hear that Prophet peace be upon him has been martyred. The biggest of the people would not stand a chance because they would lose. That if our Prophet is gone, then we are not going to stand here. A lot of Sahaba lost their feet in that because of that news. And at that time, with Umar and Abu Bakr, and I believe Ali was there as well, they took the Prophet peace be upon him in that cave. That cave, by the way, is still there, to protect Prophet peace be upon him. And then one of the Sahabi tried to take off the shield, that armor from the face. He could not. He tried with his hand. Then he tried with his tooth so that he can take it out because it was so deeply penetrated in the face of Prophet peace upon him. His tooth broke. He was trying to use his face, his teeth to take off. His tooth broke, but that did not came out. After a lot of efforts, finally that the shield came off, and as soon as it came off, there was a fountain of blood that shot out of Prophet peace be upon his face because of that. So deeply it was penetrated, and there was blood all over, and Prophet peace be upon him became unconscious again. Now imagine all of these situations happening. Muslims being basically sandwiched in between and slaughtered, and then people announced that Prophet peace be upon him has been martyred. But at that time, and in this tussle, what happened was, I'm sure you guys have that Hinda, again she became Muslim afterwards. She wanted to revenge her father, so she hired Wahshi, who became Muslim again after the Fath Makkah. So he was basically a slave, a black slave, and he was a marksman. So she hired Wahshi. Later on, he became a Muslim. Said, you have to kill Hamza and bring me his liver. Now, this guy, he had nothing to do with the war. He was there only and for what? Except for his freedom. That if you bring me that, I will free you as a slave.
Mission, right?
It was mission. He just kept looking in the wall. Where is Hamza? Where is Hamza? Where is Hamza? And he was a marksman, so he was pretty powerful at that. In terms of his aim.
They said he was good.
Yes. The marksman.
How's that go?
The spear.
Huh?
The spear.
Spear, yeah.
So he had the spear, and he was just keep looking, and then finally, and all of this ambush that is happening, where Muslims are stuck in between and fighting, and Prophet peace be upon him is, getting surrounded by a little amount of Sahaba, and then this happened. At that time, he attacked Hamza Razullah. He threw the spear, and it went through his chest, and he fell down, and he passed away. Hinda was informed because she was waiting. She was waiting for this news. She came on with her own dagger. She cut the ears of the uncle of Prophet peace be upon him. Then she cut the nose. Then she opened his chest and take off the liver, and she biting it. I mean, imagine the hatred, imagine the anger these people have. Now, and then it happened that they were conversing at that point, because Muslims were at that time, we lost it. I mean, we lost the war at that time because,
Just disobey the word of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
exactly. So since the Muslims disobeyed the order of Prophet peace be upon him, so the consequences were hard. So we lost the war. Although we were winning, in the beginning we were winning, but then we ended up losing the war because of one order that was disobeyed. And the biggest loss for Prophet was the loss of Hamza Rasulullah. Asadullah, he was the Asadullah, the lawyer of Allah. As I'm sure Brother Saki must have talked about this, the Prophet peace be upon him saw a dream before the battle of Uhud, and he saw that his his sword has got a hole in it, and the interpretation of that was that someone very close to Prophet peace be upon him will be martyred in this war, and Hamza lost his life in this. And then, of course, the defeat happened, and then so both armies came and they started picking up their martyrs. This is how it used to happen. So after Asr, after Maghrib, then there's no more, everybody backs off, and then everybody goes and pick up their own, martyrs.
Close to like 70 Sahabas.
70 Sahabas. Almost 71, some say 71. Sahabas were lost. The precious lives of the Sahaba were lost in the Battle of Uhud. And at that time, when Prophet peace be upon him came to know about Hamza Rasulullah, he was so devastated, and he was so, he cried, and his sister, came at that time. So Prophet peace be upon him saw the sister of Hamza coming in, and again she was also a very strong woman, and the Prophet peace be upon him said to his nephew, "Go and stop your mother. She's coming to see Hamza. She would not be able to see the way he is right now in the condition." So his nephew went straight up to his mother saying that, "Mother, don't go further, don't go further." So in this anger, she punched his son on the chest, said, "Get out of my way. I know my brother's been martyred, and his ears and nose been cut off. I want to see." Now, the iman of Sahaba at that time is it's unshakable. I mean, they're so strong, and the belief is that if we were to live, we live as ghazi. If we were to die, we die as martyrs. That's the so the success is on both sides, no matter what happens. But he still wanted to continue. So at that point, his son said, "Prophet has asked you not to see," and then she stopped, because nobody can disobey the Prophet on him. And then they start giving kafan and the feed for the martyrs. At that point, because Hamza was a tall guy, there wasn't enough kafan for him. So the Sahaba were like, "What do we do?" So if you were to cover his face, his feet become open, and if we cover the feet, his face becomes open, because the cloth was not big enough. And again, imagine, so 30 years of Hijrah, Muslims were in a very dire state from the financial perspective. They had nothing in terms of that. So the Prophet said, cover his head and put some leaves from the tree of dates and cover his feet and then do the thing. And that's how it happened. Now, subhanAllah, even if you go now, and I have heard this from various people, various of my acquaintances who go to Badr, and because now they have cordoned off the graves of Sahaba, and right in the middle there is the grave of Hazrat Hamza radhiyallahu anhu. You can still smell. A lot of acquaintances of mine have told me this personal story that when we went there to visit the grave, we could smell, a beautiful smell even till date. SubhanAllah. This is the this is the level of shaheed. So this was the battle of Uhud that Muslims have we lost at that time. But then, alhamdulillah, after that Muslim regroup and we came back again. Inshallah, we'll continue in the next sermon. Jazakumullahu khair. May Allah give us tawfiq to understand and the life of the Prophet and the life of the companions of Rasulullah, and bring the practical in our lives, learning from their lives. That is the way to success, because Prophet said that if you follow one of my companions, you will follow me in Jannah. So may Allah grant us, all of us, inshallah, the heaven, inshallah, and ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا جنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اجعلنا مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي والمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah.
جزاك الله خيرا. May Allah accept it.